Hello again, everybody. Time for another lab. So this is going to be your second one. This one is like looking at food diaries and getting a bit of an idea of sort of what you're eating and what's in the food and how much you might be acquiring. One thing with humans, it's not unheard of that we can actually acquire more nutrients than we realize. So this idea of portion control becomes really critical, actually. And we can easily take in just simply too much in one setting and not realize we did that. So this gives you a bit of an idea of that, looking at you to keep track of the things that you're eating. So looking at our syllabus then, and we can see in that, I'm going to pull that up for you, go to your file section as always, and then of course go down to your syllabus. Let's do it that way, probably a little easier. There we are. So going back to the tentative schedule, this is lab number 2 right there, diet analysis. Now I noted to you, because this is a DELON class, you're welcome to do this whenever you like. It's not due again until the 4th of October, so no worries. Just on the chancing that you are kind of getting up to that mode, I thought I would put up this video sooner than later, of course. It takes a bit of time, of course, to make these and process these and get them online and make sure they're working. But if you see anything, if you have any questions between now and when you do turn it in, please always let me know. So looking at that exercise then, this is really quite an interesting one and links you to a nutritional site that will really help you out. In this case, as I noted, you're going to be keeping a food diary. So that's more or less a log of all the food you're eating. You're going to be tracking just about everything, except if it's non-caloric. And that'd be things like water, for example. You don't need to list how much water you're taking in. How much water you need to take in every day is actually dependent on you, sort of what your body's going through, what the environment is like. It's not as easy as saying, oh, yes, I must drink 8 glasses of water today. And I've only had 3 of them. I've a long ways to go. That's not how it works. You need to know how much you need. And there are various ways to learn that. This lab is not set up for that. But if you have questions, of course, run it through your general physician, to your doctor. Now, in that case, you're looking at things like energy balance, efficiencies, excesses, and this is the easiest one. You just didn't realize you had that much. You didn't realize that a serving is 2 cookies and you were bringing in, 6 biscuits, that kind of idea. You just didn't realize that you were doing something like that. But it does note this. I would prefer that you did your own food diary, so you have your own habits. If you're uncomfortable with that, remember, this is just for you. You are turning in for homework. I'm never going to look at it, oh my God, they eat cake all the time. Of course not, I will not do that to you. But I don't know, using a friend, using a relative, I'll leave that to you. I mean, the author of this lab said you can do that. I don't really know if you should do that. Make sure they know if you're going to use a friend or a relative like mom or something like that, that they're fully aware of what you're doing. Have them read the lab. Fully understand why you're asking these questions and that you're gaining personal information for them. Make sure they're fully cued in. I don't want anybody surprised about anything. I would certainly prefer that you did this for yourself, but no, I can't force you to do it, especially since the author wrote it in there for you. Either way, then you're going to compile that dietary log. This is that diary that you're going to be dealing with. So notice you're going to be doing this over 3 days. You do not have to be consecutive. That's right. So just any 3 normal days for you. Now, what's an abnormal day? Well, I'll leave that to you, but they are noting things like this. So if you're not feeling well, if you slept too much, too little, sleep is critical, absolutely critical. And by the way, on sleep, it is consistent pattern sleep. This is not an issue of, well, Monday through Friday, I get like 3 hours every day and it's terrible, but I'm so busy and I have so much work. Yeah, I get that. But then this idea of, well, Saturday's coming, I'll have like a 12-hour marathon session of nothing but sleep, right? So for 18 hours and I feel great. That's not going to work. For most people, it won't. You might realize, yeah, you felt great when you woke up and maybe the rest of that Saturday and even Sunday, you felt good. But then you're back to work on Monday. Oh my God, by the end of Monday, I'm just exhausted again. Yeah, what humans need is consistent pattern sleep. Set up a schedule for yourself as well as you can. I get it. I work full-time, very full-time. We're required to do like supplemental work on the side. That's often taking classes on the side. So I could do that too. Then I got a family somewhere in there. And then there's life in general. Wow, it's tough. I get it. I fully get it. Try to get that pattern sleep. So if you got too much, too little, that's a problem. If you went to a party or any other event and it was atypical for you, again, what you're eating, what you're drinking, that kind of idea. Like now, like I don't drink soda. So maybe I went to a party and I had 2, I don't know, Mountain Dews. Okay, that's really atypical for me. So that might kind of throw things off, that kind of idea. They want it to be 3 days where things are kind of normal and you get a good idea of what you kind of do day in and day out. And what you're looking at is really this. Now, this is part of your chapters. I know by now, this is your second lab. You should be well into reading your book, well into reading my posted lecture notes after you read your textbook, and of course, asking me any questions. So this is within the discussions of the book and the notes. If you have any questions on it, let me know. The website that's going to be shown here helps you with this, helps you with understanding what your estimated energy requirement is. And notice we're talking about calories per day. Clever by your author to note this as big C calories. That is different than little c calories. Don't read this, oh my gosh, look at that. They screwed up the English. There should have been a little c. Why are they capitalizing? No, 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 no. This is actually specifically done. A little c calorie is just a calorie. You know, if a bag says 10 little c calories, it just says 10 calories. But if you see a big C calories, those are kilocalories. In that case, thousands of calories. So if it says 10 calories on a food label and it's 10 big C calories, that's not 10, that's 10 times 1,000. So obviously 10,000 calories were in that little baggie. So again, you got to make sure you know what you're reading here. And this is nicely done by your author. You just got to kind of catch it, that's all. So it's how many calories you need per day for what you're doing, gaining weight, losing weight, maintaining weight. There are cases people need to gain weight. There are cases where people should lose weight. And of course, then there are cases people need to maintain their weight. And so this little website here, which I'll show you in a minute, helps to calculate what you need per day. Like I'll show you mine. I plugged in mine. I said, look, I weigh this much. I'd like to weigh this much. So I said, fine, you need to have this much calories coming in per day. And so it calculates that. And effectively then the calories per day you need is going to be your EER. And notice this is what you need to get your basic metabolism to go. That is a very misused word in our society. It's colloquially just like, wow, look at them. They're going to have like 2 steaks and sweet potatoes and desserts and even sweet tea maybe thrown in there, and they don't get it out. Oh, I hate them. I look at that thing, there I go. That's not what it means. This is the sum total of chemical reactions in your body. And particularly in the mathematics, we're looking at 2 kinds of reactions here. We're looking at the breakdown reactions. So you take something in, your body's breaking it down. Maybe you take in that steak and it's got a lot of things in it, fat, carbohydrates, it's got DNA and RNA, so nucleic acids, and your body is breaking it down. Those are known as the catabolic reactions, the decompositions. And then let's say that the steak, and within the steak, the protein perhaps. And so your body is catabolizing it down towards the amino acids. Get those amino acids to where it needs to go, like to a cell. The cell takes it in, and then it anabolizes them into the protein needs. Anabolism is to build up. So it's sort of like the reverse of catabolism. And you're linking together those amino acids to make the protein that you're after. Sum all that together, all the catabolic and anabolic reactions, and you have metabolism. And notice all the things that influence this: height, weight, age, gender, of course, how active you are. There's a lot of things that affect that. So this is kind of looking at that based on you. What do you need per day? And like I said, a lot of times it's less energy than people understand what they realize. Bear in mind, through most of human evolution, we've been just out there in the world. And so your body's saying, look, you haven't eaten well, eat, 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 you're going to need it. And maybe you don't really need to do that now, because instead of being out there in the world, we're living in this wonderfully fake environment we've created for ourselves, although it's technically not fake. I mean, it's not like living in the temperate wildlife area, or like maybe a temperate rainforest, or that I'm living in the tropical deserts, or not a tropical rainforest, excuse me, or in the deserts or something like that. You know, it's not like you're living in that. It's just, we have created a home for ourselves. I'm sitting in my house, and it's a little bit outside that. So maybe now our energy requirements have changed, but it takes a while for evolution have caught up to where we are. Say, oh yeah, you really don't need that. So you might have this drive to eat, drive to incorporate more nutrients than you actually need. There are, again, evolutionary reasons for that. There's sound reasons for that. It's not like your body in any way is trying to do something it shouldn't, but we have to remember context too. We really need that. So this is trying to help you with that. And a lot of people come out of these labs and say, wow, I just didn't realize I didn't need that much. You know, it's easy to overconsume. It really is. So here's that website I was noting to you. When you plug in your information here, it's going to come back saying, this is what you need calorically per day. And that's going to be your EER. It's going to be that direct in this case. So when you plug this into your address bar, you get something like this. Now, I already plugged in my parameters. This is actually today. You can see the day I'm filming this, Friday, September 17th. I've had 1 meal a day. That's just kind of how I do things. I do intermittent fasting. So there's a window I can eat, but I generally eat once a day. There's different forms of intermittent fasting. It's a diet that I've chosen for myself. For me, it doesn't mean it works for you. No one diet works for all humans. You know, we're still trying to work all this out, how nutrition works, and it's really hard. But this more or less works for me. And so I do the 16-8 intermittent fasting. That means you have an 8-hour window you can eat, and then 16 hours when you don't eat. There are many, many days. I go a whole day between eating, so 24 hours. So again, it just depends on what's going on. Been a busy day. I've been doing a lot of these videos, a lot of extra stuff on the side, of course, courses to deal with, other things outside of school to deal with that comes up, you know, whatever it may be. I might tonight feel like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. So maybe I'm still within that 8-hour window, so I'll allow myself to have something to eat. But pretty much this is what I already have eaten. This is the main thing I ate. I had some hummus. I like chickpeas anyhow, but I wanted protein. So in that case, protein, yeah, good. It's got some protein in it, good. And that's really what I was thinking with that. It's got like a good kind of fat in it. So I was thinking with that. Got a fair amount of salt in that. So, you got to kind of keep that sort of thing in mind. Excuse me. I do have some organic plums. So I put in a plum. I put in some crackers. Now, crackers, they're not very healthy for you. So it could be argued, wow, you teach a nutrition class and you had crackers. Yeah, but then again, I was using them because I'm having hummus. Now, I could have had some whole grain bread. I was thinking about that. But because of my genetics, my Irish ancestry, my Scottish ancestry, I tend to be a little more careful with breads, although we could argue the cracker as well, and not overdo it. So last night I had a little bit of bread. So I chose this one this time. Now, when I plug this in, for example, I can show you when you're adding foods in, let's say for the lunch, I'm going to add my food. I didn't put breakfast in because what time did I have this? It was maybe around noon. So, it's technically lunch, even though it's my first meal of the day. Let's say we go back to those crackers again. So here, notice I had to put in quantity 2 in that case, because it only listed 4 crackers. And I think I had 6 of them, and they're, crackers. So I think I had 6 of them altogether while I was having my hummus. So I went ahead and just plugged in 2. It gave me a total of 8 crackers for doing that. I think I had 6 of them. So, there's only so much you can do here. It can't be perfect, but we get as close as we can, that kind of idea. And it's better to say 2 in the quantity served than 1, because I know I had more than 4. I did have some fresh blackberries. I don't think I had an entire half cup, but it was close as I can get to it. And I did have some red grapes. All of this was organic, by the way. And that does impact the overall nutrition and its health, especially being lower in pesticides. But it won't impact here my energy requirements. So that's kind of the thing you'll do. You'll just pick a food. For example, I'm not going to add this directly because I didn't have it. But let's say, I don't know. I said I have some fun. I say I have some ice cream. Okay, so let's search for it. I didn't have any ice cream, but let's say I did that. One of my favorites ice cream is, I'm kind of pouring. I really do like vanilla bean ice cream. If you like it, I'm right there with you. I don't mean any way like, hey, you're boring too. No. Choose what you like, yeah? I like green tea ice cream. I'm not sure I'm okay with this. They now have a Bailey's Irish ice cream. Oh my gosh, wow. So, but I don't eat this very often, as yummy as it is. I was at Publix, anecdotes all over the place, I don't know, 6 months ago, a year ago. And they have portion control. They have these tiny, tiny, tiny little cups of Haagen-Dazs, I think it was. And they happen to have vanilla bean, and I like vanilla bean. So I bought one. Let's see what it's like. And I remember when I pulled it out, this other customer in Publix looked at me and says, that's so small. I could never do that. And I said, well, at least it gives me the emotional, I ate some ice cream and being well within portion control. So great. And then I recycled the box so it doesn't have as much waste in the environment. So again, you can really think of it there. I didn't have any ice cream today though. But if you did it, you would say like, okay, I had first one on the list is Costco. Let's just go with that. Why not? And then you would plug in what you did. Did you have one serving at 100 grams? Of course, you can change this. Did you have it for lunch? What'd you do? And then you would add it to your diary. Perfect. Now I didn't have any ice cream. So I'm just going to click back and here's what we had. And you'll track this. Now, if this is the only thing I had today, this one meal, beauty. So if I decide to add another one in later, maybe then I will add like a dinner in or something like that. So, and let's get back out of this ad. I don't want to add any more right now. Okay, so get back to this. So maybe I'll add it in like in a dinner, or if I don't have a full meal, like later on, maybe if a family's eating something and it's been a long, busy day, I might choose to eat something with them instead of just sitting down and chatting with them. Then yeah, okay, so add that. If not, maybe I'll have a quick snack in there. I have to admit, I was eyeing these wonderful bananas and an organic apple to throw in, but I thought that this might be enough for a meal. And I only had, it was like 45 minutes where I could get everything prepared and sit down and eat it and get to my next thing. So I did think that to vary my nutrients, not just nutrient dense, but varying the nutrients coming in, I thought, well, maybe I'll save the apple and the banana for later today. So I'll probably add that in as like a snack later today if I have that. I did mention organic apples. I'm not harping on the organic just because it's there for a reason. It has something very specific. If you've never seen this, there is something known as the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. That's it right there. Now these lists vary depending on what's going on. They vary from year to year. So hopefully this is the 2021 one. It looks like this is the 2020 one, but that's okay. Oh no, updated for 2021. Excellent. So it'll give you a little bit of an idea wherever they stuck it. Hopefully the web page is going to load correctly. There it goes. Looks like it's loading now. And of course we get an advertisement. Of course we did. There it is. Okay. So the dirty duddy, those are fruits and veggies that have a heavy level of pesticide. It's just the way they're grown, the way the tissue is, the way the organism works, and they need to incorporate it. And don't think that just washing off your fruits and vegetables is going to fix this problem. It's not. So when I go shopping, if I'm in Publix or wherever I am, I think about this. Now, if it's late and I'm not sure, I'll just default to organic because by that point, maybe I work all day and I'm tired. I want to go home. I'm not going to take a moment to pull out my phone, look up the dirty dozen, and check. So if it's organic, okay, fine, it's organic. We'll stick with that. I default to the organic now. Like these strawberries, used to love them as a kid, had them all the time. I do not remember the last time I had a non-organic strawberry in the US. I just don't remember. Apples, I just noted that one. For me personally, now it's a personal note, so it's not specifically a professional one. I have chosen in my personal life, based on the research I've read, to not eat non-organic apples. Therefore, I make the choice that in this country, I will not knowingly eat a non-organic apple in this country. It's too unhealthy. So I eat organic apples. Now, kale, that one really annoyed me when it went onto the list because it wasn't there before. Like I said, these lists change. I love kale. I eat it quite a bit, actually. It's really good for you. So, oh man, it's on the list again. So now I got to eat kale that's organic. I got to find it. Same with cabbage. Cabbage goes on and off. I don't think I saw it on this list. Well, cabbage goes on and off. So because of that, and yes, I get the stereotype with cabbage, but I do like cabbage. I default to the organic cabbage. One that does come up, and it does bear a little bit of discussion, cherries. There's a strong argument to not drink juice unless your doctor sends you to drink it. Because when you have the juice, it's a strong sugar punch, maybe no fiber in it. It could really not be advantageous. So it's generally recommended to eat the fruit and veggie than to have the juice. I don't really drink juice. I like juice, but I really don't drink it. So the only time I do allow myself to is in two cases. If I'm sick, I'll probably have a little bit of orange juice if it's on hand, because I may not be able to get anything else down. And ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, can help to support the immune system. So that's a contextual issue. But beyond that, no. The second one I allow myself is cherries. Based on my being a scientist, based on my being able to read genetic information and understand kind of what DNA is saying, and then knowing where to go if I have a question with that. I have looked at my DNA panel, my DNA profile, and I was able to isolate the fact that I have a potential mutation in my DNA, that's not unusual, that puts me at risk of a certain cancer. It's kind of kidney cancer. Now, that doesn't mean I'll ever get the cancer, but I don't want to, because from what I've read of that cancer, if I get it, it's not going to go well for me. It most likely will be a pretty quick and rough death. Okay, so I have noted, I went to look at, well, is there anything I can do that can help try and prevent acquiring the illness? And it turns out cherries are really good at helping. However, when was the last time you saw organic cherries at the market? And the last time I do remember seeing organic cherries, they were bloody expensive. I didn't buy them. However, Publix, for example, does sell organic cherry juice. So I do buy it. And I'll have it maybe twice a week. Sometimes I only have it once a week. So I don't overdo it at all. And that's a contextual issue. I would much prefer to have the organic cherry than the juice, but I can't find it. And I can't find it in a way that I could actually buy it. It's like it's cheapish, that kind of idea, because organic can be expensive. So contextual, be careful on juices. But that's how you use this. Now, the Clean 15, these guys tend to be lower in pesticides. So I'm not as particular about buying these non-organic. I would probably still default. If I had a choice between an organic avocado and a non-organic avocado, I would go for the organic avocado, because even though it's on the Clean 15, yeah, I'm still thinking the side, who knows, and that kind of idea. So it's a really important list here. So again, getting back to the diet thing, I haven't had an apple today. So I have organic apples in my fridge. And later on then, because I really was eyeing one earlier, and I really did think about that. Well, maybe I might have a snack later. Let's save it for later, is what I did. So who knows, this might expand it, but this could be my only meal of the day, which means this would be the only entry out of the 3 entries I need for my diary. All right, so go back to the diary. So that's on this portal. I would never ask you to do something I wouldn't do myself. So I signed up for this. It asks you your height, your age, your gender. It needs all that. And then it'll calculate, here's the much like calories you need per day, your EER. And it kind of tells you that. I don't know if it's saying here, but so notice with this meal, it put out about 470 out of, I think it's like 1,500. It's like, cause I like to lose a little bit of weight. I'm not overweight, but yeah, why not? So I decided to lose like 5 or 10 pounds, whatever, would be kind of nice. So, okay. So it said, if you needed 1,500 kilocalories today, this meal was 470 of those 1,500. I'm well within my kilocalories. And if this is all I have today, drinks included, notice I didn't listen in here to drinks. I had water to drink. I didn't drink anything else. then I'm well under the 1500, and that's going to be a little bit of a help for me losing weight. I don't want to underdo it though. I want to make sure my body is getting the nutrients I need, which is why I'm thinking my way through this. I had some protein, I had some carbohydrate, I had some good fruits here. Not much in the way of veggies. Actually, that's a good point. So now that I thought about it, so tonight, if I have that snack, what I'm kind of thinking of, maybe some organic oatmeal, because I like oatmeal. But oatmeal has to be done right. The kind of oatmeal I eat is the nerdy teacher kind, I guess. So since I'm talking me, and I guess I talk me a lot, I'll show you one. Amazon sells it. I think Publix might have it too, but it's kind of hard to find, which is why I can buy it in Ireland if I want, but that's much more expensive than Amazon. So there's one oatmeal that I personally like that's much healthier for you than some of the ones that are over the counter. So it's by a company in Ireland called Flahavans oatmeal. There it is. Now there's different kinds you can buy here. They have the quick cook version, which is not as healthy for you. But me being, my nerdy self, I go for this one. There's two of them here. I don't know why there's two. Oh, pack of 6, pack of 1. Okay, same thing though. This is steel cut. Steel cut's much healthier for you. It's not that hard to cook though. You just know how to do it. You just take it, you put it into a pan, and you boil it for 10 minutes. That's it. And then if it's too bland for you, I throw in blueberries, organic blueberries, and that's it. I don't add any honey into it. If I'm really kind of naughty, maybe I'll instead of boiling water, I'll use milk. I can still drink milk. That's not surprising because of my ancestry. Milk doesn't seem to bother me at all. So maybe I'll cook it in milk. I don't do that very often because I think it's creamy enough just with the water. It's great, lovely tasting. And then if I want it sweeter, I put in some blueberries. So maybe for that meal tonight, I'll have my apple, maybe one of those organic bananas, and organic carrot. I've got those at home too. And there's some veggies coming my way. I even have some bok choy, Chinese cabbage. Ooh, good stuff. And there's already some fruits and veggies there. But if I want some more protein, I'll probably throw in that Flahavans oatmeal. So I'll add that here if I decide to have another meal today. And at a 470, maybe I'll hit 1,000. That'll be that much, but we'll see. Actually, let's just try it. I'm not going to eat it, but let's try it. So it'll help you work it. So I don't know if it'll do it. I haven't tried it. Let's try organic. I don't know if it'll do it that way. It does. Good. Now, this one's honeydew. So let's see if it has a honeydew apple. I don't know. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's okay. So I don't see. Oh, it's organic honeydew melon. Oh, poop. We're so close. It's okay. There's our apple juice. I recommend caution on that. Let's just go back to the apple. That's okay. Oh, it's not honeydew. It's called honey crisp. Sorry. Let's try that. Now, gotta know your foods. Honey crisp. Oh, and it also helps to be able to spell. That's a good idea to be able to spell honey crisp. There we go. So tiny on my screen. Hope it's not too tiny on your screen. So honey crisp, organic honey crisp apple. There we go. Yay, we found it. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Okay, and I had just one. Yeah, they're kind of small. Let's see if they have small apples. I mean them. All right. So for fun, let's add one to the diary. And there you go. There's my organic apple. So I'm thinking of that banana. It is an organic banana. So let's try that. Organic banana. Organic banana. I think they are Chiquita, actually. So cool. And yes, I'm just going to have one. Add to my food diary. And let's add our carrot. Yep. Okay. I don't think they're overly large, but yeah, it's all right. One organic large carrot, why not? Okay. And I was talking about some oatmeal. I seriously would be amazed if they have Flahavans. But you never know. Let's try. But they had the right idea. Well, hey, Flahavans porridge. Do they have steel cut? Let's try that. Ooh, I'm impressed. I didn't think they would have Flahavans. Steel cut. It's there. I'm really impressed. I didn't think it would have it. I hadn't tried Flavans. I was just doing the other things, but I hadn't thought about trying that. Cool. And yeah, one serving. So yes, I follow the serving sizing on the back and all that kind of idea. I would do one serving. Nice. Look at that. One Rainier organic Honeycrisp apple, one organic Chiquita banana, one organic carrot, and my one bowl of Flahavans. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be getting near the number I was thinking. It's 365 kilocalories. Altogether, you're in like 850, that kind of idea, but still I'm nowhere near my 1500. Just for fun, Because I was saying I might toss in some organic blueberries to sweeten it up. Organic blueberries. Blueberries, organic, 1 cup. There you go. Beauty. And there you go. And to drink, I probably have water again. I really only drink 2 things, water, and I do like tea. Yeah, I get the stereotype. I know. I do. I really like tea. So I don't know if I'll have any tea. I don't have it every day, but I do have a lot. So there you go. I'll stick with that. So, okay. So yeah, I'm a little over 900 kilocalories, where today is supposed to be 1500. Beauty. Now, that's okay for me. I'm not underweight. I'm within my BMI, if you believe in the BMI, is that kind of idea. So I'm not really worried about being underweight. And again, I wouldn't mind losing a few pounds. So even though I'm within my BMI, there's a range inside the BMI. So this will work well for today. Yeah, and notice I varied my foods. There are things here I love. Those blackberries are grand. They're really grand, but I didn't add more. So that's always a good idea. Vary your nutrients. Give your body as many different nutrients as you can. When I teach the lecture classes, I note, like with salads, 1, you don't need salad dressing. Sorry, that's just fat and cholesterols and extra calories you just don't need. You should learn to enjoy the fruit and vegetable for the fruit and vegetable. If I can do it, anybody can. Well, on top of that, I note students, make your salads as colorful as possible. And what I'm meaning is this: vary your nutrients. And I might add to this, who knows? I have some already cooked, ready to go organic sweet potato. So maybe I'll add that in. But I'm still nowhere near getting to this. So nice. We'll see. Maybe tonight we'll have this meal. Don't know. But it gives you an idea. And this would be a single day within my 8-hour window, my intermittent fasting. It still works. It would be a single day in your food diary. Cool. And that's all part of this portal. It's nice. And I got to admit, I'm impressed. It had the Flahafan, so kudos to it. Now, here's what the author would like you to do. Tracking your calories is one thing, but they would also like you to track this. 3 specific nutrients, things like fiber, cholesterol, vitamins, and minerals. Fine. They do not want you to select these guys. They do not want you to select carbohydrates, sugars, fats, proteins. Okie dokie. So back here, it's already noting some of the minerals. Yeah, like sodium, sure. Now, for other things you may not know. So for example, it lists cholesterol. All right, so I mentioned in the meal I have had, that I had some hummus. Yeah, right. So here, this is the food label. That's actually the one I had. It was, I don't remember if it was that one. I think it was roasted garlic. So I might have to be a little more specific in the food label. But this is a great example of it. And you can see in cholesterol, it's got no cholesterol. So I actually had to go and look it up. Don't expect any website to have everything listed. And your author even notes that for the RDAs, you might need to use your textbook, the recommended daily allowances, like how much salt should you be getting per day? You might have to look it up in a table. So sometimes this site has it, sometimes it doesn't. And in that lab, your author clearly notes you might need to be using your textbook, and that's perfectly fine. You just want to write the data down. How many kilocalories? How much salt did you bring in? That kind of idea. And sodium, not so much salt, but sodium. Same thing on this meal, how much you brought in. And then for the day, I might tally that together for my sodium, that sort of idea. So what I want you to track. So for the information then, your personal information, this is general, it's nothing overly like sensitive. Your height, your weight, your age, your gender. You have to put it into the site. Your site's going to calculate your calories that you should be having. There's your 3 full days again. And then you're going to just include from your listings what your calorie content was. And maybe you chose sodium, maybe you chose magnesium, who knows, maybe you chose the cholesterol, like I was just doing, that kind of idea. And they want you to tally that over the 3 days and then display it out. So they note 3 tables here. You might do like day 1 and its tables, and day 2 and its tables, and that kind of idea. You can do it however you like. No worries. That was just a suggestion. And then you're going to tally out the information in those. So notice they want you to be specific. Some people think adding in as much as they can, you have these wonderful, big, huge tables, like, look at all this work I did, becomes convoluted. It's not necessary. In fact, in science, some of the best projects I've ever seen were the simplest projects. So notice how the authors sort of remind you of that, don't add in extraneous information. Yeah. Just think through what you want to do. Pick the nutrients you want to follow and then stick to that. And then just look up how you did. Don't be surprised again if you come out and say, wow, I'm taking way more than I realized. That is not unusual. So they just ask you 2 very direct questions. How does your average number of calories consumed per day compare to what you should have been? Now, remember, this is big C calories. So when I did this, just based on those, hey, why not let's lose 5 or 10 pounds? It came back saying, if I remember correctly, I need to incorporate 1,500 calories a day, and that's it, in order to hit that goal. Okay. And with these 2 meals, I'm nowhere near 1,500 calories. So the author's just asking you then, How did you do? Remember here, the lab is saying that the total calories that the website's noting is your EER. So were you under, were you over, were you right on track? How are you doing? And then your RDAs, the recommended daily allowance. How much salt should you be getting today? So how much sodium should you be getting? How much chloride should you be getting? How much cholesterol should you be getting in? How much protein should you be getting in? Whatever you're tracking, although here they're looking for you not to do the macromolecules, which is fine. How did you do? And again, in order to find out how much RDA you need per day, you might need to look at your book. You might need to go online again if you can't find it on that one website and say, well, here's me, here's my parameters. You should be getting X amount of salt per day, that sort of idea. And then how do you think this is going to impact you over time? Any discrepancies that you came across, like maybe you were surprised about something? And again, you can reference your textbook for any information you need. So hopefully this will be fun for you. This isn't meant to be a chore. It's certainly not a judgment issue. Not only for me, I'm not going to read it, oh my goodness, look what they're doing to themselves. It's none of my business. This is really for you, your overall health. And if you ever wanted to, of course, you could discuss this with your doctor at any time. Because this is meant to better your life. That's actually, as I mentioned on the first day, this is what this class really is. Of all the classes I teach, there are a few that are a bit more esoteric and a few that aren't. This is definitely one that's not. Diet is obviously absolutely critical in your day-to-day, and certainly for the long haul. So if we focus on this now, wherever you are now, things should hopefully improve. While you're going and get those yearly physicals that I know you get every year, right? And you're discussing this with your doctor. You're finding out where you are, where you want to go, and how to get there safely. Discuss this with your doctor. So this is just for you. This is meant to be fun and meant to help you. I'm not going to judge you, and be kind to yourself. That's where I was going with that as well. If you're not happy with something, don't berate yourself. Okay, this is where I am. This is where I want to go. How can I safely get there? We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have bad days, and we come home and we plow through that pint of ice cream. Okay? So just be honest with yourself. And then if you want to take it the next step, maybe collect data like this and present it to your general physician and say, hey, during my yearly physical, what did you see? Here's what I'm doing. What should I be doing? How can I help myself? Even if I look like I'm in good shape and I'm doing okay and I'm all right, I'm not pre-diabetic or whatever it is, what should I be doing? And have this honest discussion with your doctor. So hopefully a fun lab. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to let me know. Send me that email, make a Microsoft Teams appointment, and we will go from there. Beyond that, I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.